This is Paul with Gray March, and you're watching Shockwave.
This is RJ with Shockwave Magazine. I'm sitting here with the guys with Gray March. Real quick, we got a new guitarist. What's your name, buddy?
That's me, Paul Anderson.
Okay.
Paul T. Anderson, and I'm the new guitar player.
And how did that happen? I know that Mike was his name.
Yes.
Mike. I know he was in California. How did that come about that you stepped into the role as guitar player?
Well, I guess I've known Trip for like a long time. Trip and I were in a band called Pearl Fishers after very much broke up.
Okay.
And I've been in the neighborhood of other bands as well. And they just had a little bit of issues, I think, with Mike and a little bit of trouble, unfortunately, for him. And then they just asked me to, hey, you want to do this thing? I'm like, yeah.
He stepped right in. So, and actually, it's a perfect fit.
Yes.
So it really feels fine, and he feels like part of the family because it's a family band. And
Right.
we were all so tight.
You guys knew each other when you were growing up. You knew him as well. When you were
Well,
growing
I
up.
didn't really come into the scene until like maybe when these guys were first starting to break up the first time or so.
Okay.
So I was on the tail end of it. But I knew the songs, liked the songs a lot, and they're a lot of fun to play. And I like to sort of bring my own twist to it.
Right. So I guess towards the end of '86 or whatever is when you.
Pretty much, yeah. And then like '87, Pearl Fishers, or '88, something like that. I got together with Trip with some guys I was playing with, and we started Pearl Fishers.
Okay.
And I did that for a number of years as well.
All right. Well, since I know it's been 25 years essentially, you had your one-off at what's that place?
Frazier's.
Yeah, Frazier's. A couple
Great
months
success,
ago. Yeah, it was huge. I think that I don't think they expected as many people as you guys brought. I think it was like 500 people.
We loved it, and yeah, we did, and we felt really good about it, and it actually created in myself an energy for the autumn. I went back to Japan, had a great musical autumn, played with lots of artists, but I was always reminded about what I had learned by coming back and playing with these guys again.
Yeah.
And as now we come back, when we talked about, okay, when am I going to come back? We wanted to do it as soon as possible, so I came back in December. Now I'm here for 14 days. We're actually going to be recording on the 2nd and 3rd. We have at least 2 new songs.
Yeah.
And we're going to record probably 6, 8 songs, 4 or something. We haven't decided, but 4 old songs, 4 new songs, something like that. But for me, the most important thing is how we've changed.
Right.
When we're playing, the communication between us is so much better. We've finally grown up a little bit.
Right. The meshing is really.
We're able to kind
solid.
of look at the songs that we did back then and say, okay, well, what's the strength, what's the weakness, and put them back. That's really great for me. It's really fun. It's a big lesson.
The new music that you guys have, would you say it's akin to the older style music, or it's still punk, right? It's still punk style music, or how would you describe it?
I would definitely say it's got to be some industrial, something like that. Yeah. It's just who we are, and that's why I come back. I mean, writing music with this group of people is what I want to do. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are very humble, and that's the first thing to know about them. And they're very humble people, and so, but for me, as I work with lots of musicians, and then I come back and I play with them, and I hear kind of what I feel is a genius.
Yeah.
A kind of a simplicity of genius that is Baltimore.
Right.
And I don't know if that's why people like our band, if they hear Baltimore in what we're doing. But especially from Stuart. Stuart is kind of the engine for a lot of our songwriting. So he comes up with things, and he's just like, he doesn't think about it or he doesn't plan it, but then it comes out as
very fluid.
I'm excited for you to hear it.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear it as well. Real quick, I guess, since it's been a while, I'm sure the people that are fans of you maybe not know what you guys have been doing over the past 20 years. If there's anything you guys want to say about what you've been doing over the past few years, we can start with you. What about you, Trip? What you've been doing?
Well, as Paul mentioned, after Gray March broke up in, I guess it was '86 or '87, he gave me the opportunity to play with the band that he was, or a bunch of guys that he was playing with.
Okay.
And we used to joke their sound was a little poppier than our sound, and we sort of met in the middle. And I think Pearl Fishers was it was somewhere not a little bit more commercial than Gray March.
Okay.
And that was great for the time that we did it. We had a band member changes, a couple of drummers, a few drummers. And we actually did a reunion show about 4 years ago. Just decided to get back to
Pearl Fisher's reunion show?
Yeah, we did a bunch of shows, but then you know, everybody goes back to their lives again, and then somehow it's funny. I got a call from a friend who said, "Did you know that Grey March has a MySpace page?"
Somebody else did it for you guys, a fan.
Well, no,
okay.
but I hadn't spoken with Ron because, you know, he was living out in the Midwest in California.
But a similar story, because Ron had found someone in Poland, right? Had been putting up our music on the Last FM. And that's how I found it too.
Okay.
I did a Google on Grey March and I saw that we had some article on some musical website, and then I found the Last FM stuff, but I couldn't get to it. It's like somehow I had to be a member and pay all this money or something like that. It was some big fee. And
that was definitely the impetus, I think, for the connection between all of us, because Mike, our original guitarist, was living on the West Coast.
Right.
So we had to sort of pull Eric from, Asia, from Japan, and Mike from California. So it had to be very well timed, and it just so happened that Eric was going to come home for a reunion, a family reunion in August, and we just thought, what are the possibilities of, just fun doing a show?
Right.
And
the timing was just right.
The timing, it was one of those things. Everything was just aligned perfectly. And so Ron moved back to Baltimore, which was another key thing. And it just was just sort of meant to be. So we did this. We did the show at the Frasers, and of course,
it was awesome.
Yeah.
And so basically, you had the show at Frasers. It went over so well, and you decided that you got to do it again.
Well, not so much the people. I mean, the people are wonderful, but it was just us.
You had so much fun doing it.
Yeah, that you look at these people. It's like looking in the mirror. It's like, hey, I knew this guy when we were in high school, running track and stuff like that. And when I talk about honest people, this is a guy I would trust. So
we should reiterate too that this is not a reunion show anymore.
No.
I mean, this is just a regular show.
Yeah, from here we decided we were a band.
Whatever we do, we're not going to. It's not going to be advertised as a reunion.
Yeah.
We have, a new guitarist, as Eric said, I told Ron this a couple of days ago. I think he was meant for this band.
Right.
One guitar player who is capable of doing leads and everything that a real guitar player can do. It's perfect.
So he plays multiple roles.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just in Pearl Fishers, in the latter part of us, we had 2 guitar players.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's nice, but there's something that works well with just one guitar player.
I think it's a challenge for writing new music. I don't want to sound like I want to make sure that someone can't listen to us and say, oh, they sound like this band and this band.
Right.
And this band.
Right.
And without blocking the writing process, because that's really, I think, a big challenge, because we all listen to so much music. We have so many influences, as any band, any musicians. And I hope that it can come together in a way that is, you don't always have to be unique. I mean, that's not the mark of good music.
No.
I think sometimes the guy from U2, the singer from U2, said something like, you capture the moment of now. Like socially, what's going on socially in our country right now and in the world, there's so much upheaval. So I think that of course affects us all, and at the same time, we have many influences. So our new music right now, I don't think we're thinking about what does it sound like. I think we're just putting it
If
in.
you're passionate enough about it, you
Yeah.
want to play it, it's going to come out and
Yeah.
speak to whoever.
And I have a very good feeling about it. I have a very good feeling.
Well, I think it would be nice because, you're not angsty teens anymore.
Right.
And that's pretty much what Grey March was. Originally was angsty teens, and that's what came out of the music, and that's what touched people. So it's going to be cool to see the development and the maturation of individual musicians and what you guys put together now. So I'm excited personally. So.
I'd like to say that I am still fully angsty.
So you still got the angstiness right here with Rob.
I have lots of angst.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really wonder, like John Stab, we're playing a show in DC with Dot Dash and Historypedia with John Stab.
Yeah.
And you can see a lot of bands doing reunion shows and realizing that they still have it in them. And I really wonder if you don't see Grey March when we're playing number 60.
Right. Well, that's awesome.
Nice.
You know, it's a long fucking time.
That's
Still
awesome.
full of angst.
Still full of
But you know what I mean? In the sense that people may not quit playing music and just keep going and not apologizing. I don't want to apologize for being 40 years old.
Yeah, I
You know,
understand.
I don't need to have someone say, well, you're not 16 anymore, so you can't, you know, really speak about what happens now. Because, and I think we see that with a lot of the bands that are still making great music and still pushing forward. So I hope that that's what it is that the scene in Baltimore, what we proved by Fraser's show was that there's still a really active scene. Those people are still there.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, it was very successful, and I hope that the DC shows go as successful as well.
Right.
You know, real quick, how about you, Ron? What have you been up to? I know that have you had any projects over the years?
No,
or anything?
I sort of like, you know, lost a lot of interest in playing music, you know.
Right.
And I think by getting back together with these guys, the whole idea of how it all came about really started to make me reevaluate what I was doing. And I think it really sparked the interest for me to want to start playing again.
Right.
You know, and it's really something that I missed a lot, you know, playing music.
So basically, it gave you that momentum again.
Yeah, you know, because I already had the angst.
Right.
But I was just listening to the angst.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't really playing music, and this really fueled me to want to play music again. You know, and like they were saying, it's like once I saw the interest in the music, you know, because as kids get, you know, the generations start changing over.
Right.
It's like this whole post-punk thing was starting to get big. You know, the kids were starting to realize some of the older bands that, you know, some of the UK bands out there, and the interest was in our kind of music. And I'm like, wow, people really still dig that kind of music. I'm like, wow, you know, maybe it'd be cool, you know, to try to play this music. So it's really important to do that if there's interest. And it's really great to be, you know, playing the music again, you know. And another thing too, like when I was doing this interview the other day about, you know, how people, you really hate the whole reunion tag.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I hate that too. I was like, when we did that show the last time, we started like, we booked this date, right? And we had been planning this thing for like 2 years, you know, like just it all coming together in a way. And I'm like, the same day we have to do our show, there's like another reunion going on in DC. I'm like, what is this, like reunion palooza?
Right.
I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I'm like, because what we're doing isn't about that.
Right.
It's about, we just want to play music. And, you know, that's all it is. It's not about, hey, let's get this and let's get a whole ton of money. It's like, we're not even making money.
No.
We're spending so much money. It's like, we're not even making, we're just doing it because we want to play the music. And the people, I think, really want to hear it. And that's what's important.
And I think that's what touches people too, is the fact that you're just being yourselves. There's a lot of, you know, and like you said before, uniqueness isn't as important, but I think just being who you really are and letting that come through in your music is important. And I think that people can relate to that. And you know, I'm a young guy, so you know, I'm only 24, but I can relate to the old stuff too. You know what I mean? And I look forward to seeing how this all develops and what the new album's going to be. Do you have any like plans to distribute it?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, we want to do all that, and so that's the next step would be to put a product together that's really lean and groovy.
Yeah.
You know, like it's exactly what we want, and then get it out there so we can go on tour.
I'm looking forward to that. So, anything any of you guys would like to say as we come to the conclusion of this?
Glad you could bring Shockwave here into the Hour Haus and
It's
give
never-
some plug, that's for sure.
It's never sounded better.
Yeah.
It's never. I mean,
It's a leaner, meaner sound, you know, less crowded sound, a lot more focused onto the hook. You know, we're all thinking about where the hooks are in your music, and how to really impact people. I've been playing a lot of dance music in Japan, so working about how people move on a dance floor and how to move people. And so by paying a lot of attention to the hook in the music, you can subliminally make it much more interesting, keep the focus and the attention of the audience on music. So that's where I'm playing.
Well, I look forward to seeing you guys live again, and thank you again for giving me your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.